For half a decade, Axis Max Life's India Retirement Index Study, or IRIS, has been the definitive source for actionable insights into the nation's financial and emotional preparedness for retirement. Axis Max Life Insurance has been and remains at the heart of this essential data revolution. The fifth edition of IRIS was officially launched at the high-impact Axis Max Life Insurance India Retirement Insight Summit, setting the national agenda among top policymakers and key opinion leaders in the retirement space. Now, to formally kick off the India Retirement Insight Summit, a journey now 5 years strong, please welcome someone who has been instrumental in shaping this platform to tell us the story and significance of the India Retirement Index Studies Half-Decade Chronicle. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Chief Marketing Officer, Axis Max Life Insurance, Rahul Talwar.
Everyone and every once in a while, we come together not to just talk about change, but to confront it. Today is one such moment. We are not only celebrating the launch of the fifth milestone edition of Axis Max Life's annual retirement survey, India Retirement Index Study, or as we call it, IRIS 5.0 today, but also to hold up a mirror to a new India, an India that's living longer, earning differently, and gearing up to fund its own retired future for the very first time. For the first time in India's history, the financial responsibility of funding potentially a 20 or a 30-year retirement rests entirely on the individual. At Axis Max Life Insurance, we say this as bharosa tum ho, means the onus is on us, the individual. And it's precisely why IRIS, the India Retirement Index Study, was created to record this shift and help Indians plan their retirement better. IRIS is a part of our thought leadership platform, Bharosa Talks, under which we drive awareness around financial conversations on financial protection and retirement readiness. As a responsible, progressive, and a thought leader player in the ecosystem, Axis Max Life Insurance asked a question: are Indians emotionally and financially ready for a longer life? We realize that retirement preparedness isn't just about money or wealth, as we call it. It's about a mindset of confidence. And in a more proprietary way, at Axis Max Life Insurance, it's about bharosa. That insight became IRIS's, or India's first national retirement report card, which measures preparedness across finance, health, and emotional well-being. I'll repeat that: across financial, health, and emotional well-being. Our national score has grown from 44 to 48 in the recently conducted edition, which we are releasing today. It's a steady progress, but like we say, as again a responsible and a progressive ecosystem player, it's still work in progress. Well, IRIS has become a national compass mapping a variety of cohorts, some like returning migrants, sandwich generations, and gig workers. And it's not just showing where we stand, but where we must go next.
The event also had a session with legendary cricketer Kapil Dev, who talked about the journey from securing a World Cup to securing retirement.
At what point should a youngster really start thinking about life beyond sports or life beyond, life beyond that time under the arc lights?
You leave cricket, most of the sports still, by the way. You can't make a life out of that. Yes, cricket have today, they can own the other sports people also.
Right.
And other sports, I don't think so. They have still enough to make their life. You can talk about any sports. Yes, you play for the country, but keep planning how you can utilize yourself. If you don't utilize yourself, you will be in a difficult position. So I always say, no, you must do something else. A sporting life is only till 30, 35. Best of the best player, 37, 38. can't go beyond that. But what you will do after that? So while you're playing, keep your eyes and ears open. And that's the most important thing. How you can make your life, जो insurance कहते हैं ना, you start picking up thing कि यार मेरे को ऐसी life काटनी है. This is the way I want to live. So your planning is very important. हमारा last day in life we don't know. Nobody knows. And everybody goes out of this life is rich. He come poor, he made more money and gone. When you go, you leave lot of things behind. But I think your planning is very important to make sure you have a great life. But if you just want to say कि मैं cricketer बन गया, हाँ, life is beautiful, no, it's not going to help you. Somewhere it will hit you back. I have seen my previous cricketers who struggle, and so many cricketers we used to feel यार चलो इनके साथ बैठ के बात करते हैं. They didn't have money to offer you a cup of tea also because there was no money. But if you plan life, you can be much better. You can enjoy that also. You can enjoy today's life also.
Paji, also I just wanted to ask you about the current IPL ecosystem where kids get sold for crores and crores of rupees, you know, and often they have financial advisors to help them do their investments, but in many cases they also do not have, you know, people who can make them money wise.
I
What
think
will
you're
you tell
talking
them?
about cricketer only.
But
I think cricketers are the only make money who can invest the money. Rest of the people खाने के लिए पैसे नहीं है, invest कहाँ करोगे? Let's be honest. नहीं है पैसे खाने के लिए स्पोर्ट्समैन के पास आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट. क्रिकेटर में 2% लोग कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करने हैं, उनके पास बहुत लोग आ जाते हैं. डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. बट हमें वो 2% को नहीं 98% को कैसे लुक आफ्टर करें, दैट इज द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. हाउ we can look after those people, then this country will be a supporting country. Otherwise, it will remain education-based country, and sports will be remain by the way.
when you were a young Kapil Dev, did you think about this?
नहीं, उस टाइम ध्यान ही नहीं, अकल ही नहीं थी, दिमाग नहीं था. एक ही दिमाग था, खेलना है. वो पैशन था, जनून था. बट आज जब बच्चों को मिलता हूँ, बहुत जनून देखता हूँ बच्चों में. बट सब तो नहीं खेल सकते, बट सब एजुकेशन में जा सकते हैं. एजुकेशन इज द बेस. Today's cricketer also, I say today, you want to play still. If your education is better, you can be Ravi Shastri, Sunil Gavaskar, you can sit on television, you can do lot many things, and that's important.
Kapil Paji, जब आप 1983 group मिलते हैं, I know that you guys are on a WhatsApp group. When you meet, do you have money conversations?
Oh, all the time. इस उम्र में क्या बात करेंगे, और ठीक है ना, लाइफ नाम बड़ा है, पॉकेट छोटी है. कभी कभी नाम बड़ा होता है ना, और हमारे टाइम में तो आई थिंक सबको मालूम है. और आई ऑलवेज लाइक टू से अपने टाइम की ज़्यादा बात नहीं करनी चाहिए, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन की सुननी चाहिए. आई डोंट वांट टू टॉक अबाउट माय टाइम, बट यस, we didn't have money, but we got so much love and affection. That's good enough. As long as my 83 team is good enough to make their life simple and live simple, I'm happy. If they are not struggling, everybody can't become Sunil, Ravi, or other people who can do the Navjot Singh Sidhu. Everybody can't become like that. But if you invest your money properly when you are playing, still you make a life beautiful.
The topic of conversation of our next panel, which is how can India turn its growing retirement awareness into real sustained action?
I want to begin by asking from an employer perspective, sir. Mr. Agarwal, when you, as a CA, you head finance and you have HR reporting into you, does that change the dynamic when it comes to how employees are going to feel part of the process of better retirement planning when the company, when the employer is clear in its mind about how they should go about it? Does that reflect in a public sector outfit where, of course, you come from?
It does reflect. Let me go back a point backwards and see what has evolved. See, there were some major changes like defined benefit to defined contribution. What is the objective? We looked at sustainability, finance side. Then we, in addition to PF and gratuity, moved to pension and NPS. Again, maybe from the employee perspective. At one point, when these two perspectives are with the different roles, they may be conflicting. But when the roles are same, you start looking at holistic benefit and then sustainability together. And I feel that's where, you're saying, your thinking and your practice, all gels well, and that goes forward. But I must tell you in this context, the focus will shift to wealth creation. The wellness, the compliance will shift to wealth creation. That's another focus, which we need to keep in mind, how in that whole journey of employment, they're also keeping a target on their wealth creation. And I think that will be the key going forward when we see these two perspectives coming together.
Manish Sharda, the idea is to not put all your eggs in one basket. Is this coming down to diversifying and having a rich portfolio where there is enough diversification? So when you're talking about retirement planning, it is essentially that. Or does it go a little more granular? In your experience in the banking sector, insurance sector, when you're dealing with your clients, do you find more granularity in what they're looking for in products?
There's few things that come out in this survey which kind of hold my attention, which is this, that over the years, the awareness is increased. More people are thinking to start early. But what is concerning is that they're not, the amount that they think that they must put out together to take care of their future needs, I think is not completely understood by a large number of people. Only 7 in 10 actually think that they need 1 crore rupee only. So when I was young, when I was growing up, I remember when I took my first home loan, and I took a home loan for 20 lakh rupees. And I used to think that if I take a insurance to cover 20 lakh rupees, if something happens to me and home loan gets paid, I think it's good enough, right? Yeah. And because our ability to see into future and to see how inflation will play out, yes, and what the world will look like 20 years from now is something which just doesn't exist. Correct. We just can't see. We're just too consumed by the here and the now, and that's one. But
now has the visibility improved?
Now, so clearly the survey is showing it is improved. It's improving.
No, but for you, from your perspective, because you talked about your own experience.
We are always wiser in hindsight. So your specific question, whether you can do stuff in a granular manner or not, I think I don't think the customers can easily understand sometimes the complex products that are being put together. Advice becomes very, very important. So having a trusted advisor by your side, yes, becomes very, very important, right? And that's where companies like ours come through, and we advise people to see, yes, to look at your specific needs and see where you should land. Correct. 20, 30 years from now.
The evening was then enriched by an interesting discussion with Rachna Ranade, a financial influencer, chartered accountant, teacher and entrepreneur known for simplifying complex financial terms, with the Director and Chief Marketing Officer of Axis Max Life Insurance, Rahul Talwar.
Watch out for, the simple brief for Rachna is fewer words or one word. Okay. So that's the test for Rachna, the content creator, the Shire, by the way. So Rachna, here goes the first one. Complete the sentence. A secure retirement begins with bharosa in?
Secure retirement begins with a bharosa in SIP and not a tip.
Fair?
Fair enough.
What's your personal bharosa mantra when markets get volatile?
When markets get volatile, any one of you, if you are a Game of Thrones fan, yes, chaos is a ladder. Peter Willish. So I think the line itself explains chaos is a ladder. Whenever markets are volatile, stocks get beaten down. When market goes down by 18%, it's not only the bad stocks which go down, good stocks will also go down along with the bad stocks. That's a chaos. And that is your ladder to climb up your portfolio value. That's where you find out good stocks having good quarterly results. You pick and choose, invest in them at lower levels. ये मैंने कहीं पे सुना था कि अच्छा भाव और अच्छा भाव एक साथ कभी भी नहीं मिलता है. अच्छा भाव is price and अच्छा भाव is sentiment. तो either भाव price अच्छा मिलेगा या sentiment अच्छा मिलेगा. तो you'll have to pick and choose and invest wisely.
What gives you bharosa that today's youth will retire richer?
नहीं आता है भरोसा. Only the smarter, a lot of them will retire richer is what I feel.
Okay, the last two ones. What's the one thing you'll tell people to start doing today to build bharosa in their financial future?
I think one thing that people should do starting today is track every rupee that is spent. Because your accountability is your first step towards abundance. ऐसे भी बोलते हैं ना that even a small hole in a ship can sink the entire ship. तो बहुत लोग ऐसे से अभी तो पैसा इतना तो कहाँ पे खर्चा हो गया क्या पता. So I think accountability is extremely important. That is the first thing that any person can start doing from today.
And the last one, in first person, bharosa for me means?
Bharosa for me means bharosa in my studies, bharosa in the process of the entire investment journey. अगर आपने discipline के साथ, शिद्दत के साथ अगर आपने investments किया है तो the happy endings ही होनी चाहिए and अगर happy endings नहीं है तो picture अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त.
Okay, so Rachna Ranade talked about clarity, consistency, coverage, the 3 C's. But that clarity, how does it convert to consistency and coverage? That really is the challenge. How do we translate high awareness into high committed action across groups and cohorts? And that leads us perfectly into our second panel discussion for today. For this conversation, I would like to invite on stage Anurag Gupta, Chief Business Officer and Head of Retirement, Axis Max Life Insurance, Kriti Suri, Personal Finance Content Creator, and Rajneesh Singh, CEO, Simply Group, who has over 3 decades of diverse experience as an HR practitioner as well as an HR entrepreneur.
I'll come to you, Anurag. What are your industry insights on can product design, communication actually make the process of saving up for retirement, buying retirement products easier and more actionable?
Absolutely. In fact, if you look at the outcome, a lot of people currently talking about awareness. In fact, in the entire IRS, we are seeing that the awareness level are going up.
You're right.
But what is not changing is that awareness is not converting itself into an action.
Yes.
And if you look at the result, it's very stark that 7 out of 10 people believe that 1 crore is a good enough amount for retirement.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand the idea of inflation. Today, what is good as 1 crore? 20 years down the line, that amount will be only 45 lakhs, with a 4% inflation.
Right.
So for instance, if you go to a chat GPT today, where everybody goes for finding answers which are not readily available, and if you find out, at an age of 25, somebody starts saving just 1,000 rupees, and he saves it till 60 years of age, with just 10% increment every year, that amount will become 1.2 crores by the time he turns 60 years, right? Just 1,000 rupees a month, right? Which is roughly about 33 rupees a day.
Yes.
Which is like chai and maska every day, right?
Yes.
But if you do the same amount, same investment, if you want the same outcome at the age of 40, you would actually need 10x. That means you need to save 10,000 rupees. And the same outcome if you want at the age of 50, you need to actually make it 50x. So I think what is important is that the way today, with your first salary, you want to buy a sari for your mom or kurta for your papa, I think that's the time you should start thinking about retirement. Make some money parked in your retirement corpus, every month.
Rajneesh, I have 2 questions for you. Do not take more than a minute to answer them. One is that we spoke about Gen Z. There is a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge that getting shared here, but is Gen Z listening? That's one. Second is, in today's India, how are employers viewing retirement planning? Is it a burden for them, or do they think that it has to be done for their employees?
Pretty interesting question, and I know, Gen Z has become a favorite kind of bashing generation, if I may call them. Honestly, poor fellows, I have all my, regard for them. I love them, a lot of respect for them. They're champions of the future, if I may call them. But, of late, as a HR kind of a consultant advisor to a lot of firms, one is also studying this whole multi-generation at the workplace right now. So it's not a very straight, simple answer to say that whether retirement is a benefit or a burden. I think each generation, from a baby boomer, a person like me, to a Gen X, to a millennial, to a Gen Z, I think all four are going through a very different set of dynamics right now, right? I would say baby boomers are almost past the tape. I mean, we've lived, done it, probably saved enough for our children. But I think there's a lot of flux happening with even Gen X and millennials as far as their future is concerned, honestly. And I was hearing Rachna here, very interesting. Gen Z doesn't even talk the word retirement.
Exactly.
They are least concerned, right? Day before I was on the Hindu Business 9 and we were talking about EPFO changes, on Provident Fund. You talk to a Gen Z employee in a company about Provident Fund, they're going to laugh off at your face, right? They're not bothered.
From actionable data to high-impact dialogues with policymakers, financial experts, and the inspiring words of legend Kapil Dev, this summit has reinforced one unified mission to secure the financial and emotional well-being of every Indian in their second innings.